YouTube comments from a video titled, "Stop using Google search right now." Part 2.
KR3OS wrote,
I mostly use Brave's AI search tool, or Grok. I can self-host, but with my hardware, it just does not compare, unfortunately. But I hardly ever use Google anymore.
Etalspy7150 wrote,
I think I know what the answer is. The internet is dead. But if you have a digital version of one of those giant encyclopedia sets from the 80s, and I mean giant, and you use a local AI that was trained solely on that data, it may actually be useful.
@Steele_Pharaoh_34GXH wrote,
Google used to be uncanny in some of the things it could pull up. One thing I used to do in the days I argued in online forums is research an opponent. People tend to reuse the same username wherever they go. And it was easy to find things like the guy claiming to be a world-famous musician was a community college instructor. Now it's as noted, ads, unrelated links, and junk. In the old days, websites wanted to optimize for search engines. Now over and over I follow links and run into a Cloudflare verify you are human message to stop AI bots. You know the Google index bots are being stopped by that as well, meaning the index is practically never current.
Etalabong9518 wrote,
I stopped using Google search when it stopped giving me useful results. If I want information, I search Reddit. If I need something specific, I get ChatGPT to find it. If I want ads and thousands of irrelevant results, I'll use Google.
@Pickle wrote,
Google is very bad now. They've failed at, almost abandoned, their core function, swallowed up other companies like YouTube, basically to create an internet-killing monopoly. Thing is, I never pay attention to ads. I do everything to eliminate them with add-ons. Turn volume off and look away Etsy. So I don't know how the ad ecosystem actually generates so much parasitic wealth.
Plickle wrote,
I love DuckDuckGo. Been using it for about 2 years now. Consistent and clean, and you actually have to refine your search because it lacks bias. I prefer adjusting on my end over impossible wild goose chases. Google is a professional waste of time.
@Alistair Blair 6001 wrote,
I've been using DDG for a couple months, and it's completely fine. It's not like it was years ago where the results sucked. Plus, the internet is so consolidated that half the time I just want a Wikipedia entry anyways.
Polar Stars wrote,
I think you should also mention Proton services for like mail, VPN, and other stuff like Password Manager. It's a great alternative to Google and Outlook. The free tier is good, but paid tiers are solid.
@Mustache Gaming wrote,
I haven't had Google as my default, or even second or third option for search engine for years now. Their search used to be great a decade ago. Now it just sucks.
@Mopkey3 wrote,
I have one reason I don't use other search engines. Link Colors Google uses one color for not visited, one color for visited, as is the default. Why do other major search engines ruin it? Yahoo and Bing use the same or similar colors for both. Is someone paying them to keep bad design on purpose?
@Rudresh 10,000 wrote,
Beauty, you can't make the same video over and over again. I still have good faith in your videos, but stop with this clickbait nonsense just to talk about SearXNG for the 20th time.
Sysrace wrote,
What is most infuriating, and happens on DuckDuckGo as well, isn't the ads necessarily, but the complete lack of any competent results whatsoever. I can do forum searches to find out if people have talked about a product or service. Instead, I get terrible articles and news, and 0 forum pages. I then have to fiddle around with my search prompt until I finally get the OG forums to pop up where people actually talk about real shit.
Ketapany wrote,
I need to try this own search engine thing. Also, I have tried to figure out make my own AI, but I haven't understand it yet. But this vid is really good tutorial for it.
J5NM wrote,
You can make SearXNG a lot faster by giving it more CPU/RAM. Docker run dname SearXNG SEPA 6 PO in T0 memory, 12 grams memory swap 16 grams PIDs limit 500 P 8080 SearXNG/SearXNG.
A Dutchman wrote,
Guess I am the only one who uses Google without issues, and frankly don't believe my data is holy. My data is already everywhere, what I can truly hide anymore. And I don't care. The only final solution is to get off the internet when we collectively decide we should.
A 420 Janie wrote,
I have found decent deals with the ads on Google. I always find the info I need when using Google. Also, I am not a freeloader thinking others' work should be free to use. Pay your way in life.
Tenel Poen wrote,
I miss 20 years ago when I could find the answer to almost any obscure technical issue by reading old forum posts. Especially the ones where the OP says fixed it never mind and refuses to elaborate.
A Daniel_Schmaniel wrote,
I had started using DuckDuckGo, but the other day it refused to show me any of the insane things said by Palantir CEO. I found that pretty suspect.
A Gilgwather wrote,
What also needs to be said? Coggy runs their own crawlers. They are not just repackaging Google or Bing, like almost all alternative search engines. 436 Yes, you should be paying for any tool you use daily. It might be uncomfortable, but there is no free lunch. If you don't pay for it, why owe UARETHE product? Always. I'd rather pay for my search engine, making sure Coggy caters to me, and not anybody else.
Tech Sabbath wrote,
I don't look at all this and think problems. I look at all this and think challenges. The more they mess about with the most basic of internet stuff is just one more opportunity to deliberately obfuscate everything they do.
At IgnisX wrote,
Dear Mutaha, could we get a guide on how to create and run your own Linux PC? I'm sick and tired of Microslop and the other big corpos.
K. Graylai wrote,
It's also irritating to search through the shopping tab or just look for the price of something because the search is completely full of eBay, AliExpress, Etsy, and no actual shops that are nearby no matter what you search. Searching headphones near me, for example, doesn't give a single store that is actually nearby, just the Chinese crap.
And Merper wrote,
I really enjoy Startpage. I've been recommending it to all my family and friends for the past 2 years or so. Easy setup for non-advanced users makes it ideal to switch to without me getting any phone calls because something broke.
Pewdyman wrote,
I have a 68% success rate of hitting scam sites through Google search, and them actually having the scam sites listed first to the original is actually scary, knowing that some sites can basically hack you just through you seeing an ad. But that is prob fixed by now.
Physics wrote,
The internet can be compressed to 1% of the memory disk size by stopping 10,000 people making the same how-to videos, blogs, and other shit that literally is the same shit other people have already done. The internet back in the day, you had one source of truth, but now every idiot needs to copy the same crap someone else has done the work.
A Smiler Calvin wrote,
I don't have knowledge to code stuff, and I don't have Linux because I have no money. Pretty sure Russia also banned Linux because my government is dog shit, and he's losing his mind over Ukraine bullshit.
Paul Lombard 00 wrote,
I do SEO for a living for reputable clients. And Google has become so bad in the past 3 to 5 years. The AI overview thing was a clear panic reaction to ChatGPT, and they've not yet had the guts to admit it and remove it, and thereby restoring traffic to the people who provide the training data for their models.
Bowser wrote,
Lol, I never get any of that sponsored shit and the AI seemed to be correct. Not sure what browser you use, but Brave don't give me any sponsored searches.
A Crime Unlimited wrote,
The issue is that I'm already sucked into the Google ecosystem. I've had Gmail for 15 years. G Drive, even though it's crap. Most sites make it too easy to sign in with Google, etc. It's like, no matter how much I use Start Page, Duck, it makes it so difficult to transition.
A Beats Baston wrote,
547, you Googled that, and the results you were looking for were on top. Just kidding though. I totally know what you mean. There are lots of ads usually.
A Charmv wrote,
I have ad blocker since it was invented in the 00s, so it doesn't affect me, but holy, I tried to Google something on my grandma's phone, and it was like going back to the 90s with all the pop-ups and everything. Was madness.
A Vidi wrote,
I love whatever is happening. Ron First Pewed shows how to block out bullshit from YouTube, and now Muda is showing us how to block out BS from search engines.
At Rio Mojo wrote,
I've started only using Google to avoid ChatGPT, using a lot of energy and water to give me a simple answer. But Google has made that simple task almost impossible, that I am forced to use ChatGPT.
At Mr. Blue Phoenix wrote,
May I ask, how can I get this to be my default search engine on Brave? Also, what your main browser you use. Is it still Brave or something else?
Ed Dülamp_aus wrote,
Anybody else feel like the internet's being scrubbed? It might not be, but I'm finding it increasingly difficult to find relevant, technical, niche information that I could quite easily say a year ago. I've tried a few search engines without much luck. I've noticed barely changing my search term can provide totally irrelevant results in the thousands, and something that's human readable returns 8 results with 0 contextual match. Lose-lose experience. WTF it is.
At Zeke7100 wrote,
I honestly haven't been using Google that much either. I just really hate the AI thing. I thought it was run on Gemini, but it hallucinates so badly constantly that it may as well never be correct.
Ejlels wrote,
Google has scammed job listings that I have reported numerous times. Same company collecting data for over a year. Nothing has changed on this. Also on GitHub, I read constantly that they are getting hacked and bad actors are uploading malware to public repos. I would be super cautious with open source.
Shioku1337 wrote,
NGL, my main problem is that I want to use this from everywhere, but I don't want to make it public. Guess I'll have to find a way to add authentication in front of it.
Hex430 wrote,
Can someone link the TLDR? I ain't wasting my time listening to this guy rehash and repeat himself for 20 minutes until he doesn't get to the point.
Christoph_smallxl wrote,
This is just the beginning. It's a corporate takeover. You'll see they gonna keep democracy running, but make it impossible to work for the people. It already is nearly impossible. And resistance is not there because it's a diffuse target, and we are kept busy with a total meaningless culture war. Left vs right is a distraction. The power grab is already in full swing. But this time it's not a single government, a noble house, it's fucking billionaires. Pick one you dislike the most. It doesn't matter. Nobody becomes billionaire by working hard. You have to fuck people over to get that rich. It's physically impossible to do it in a morally just way when time and resources are universal constraints. And you can see, whenever something against it is in the loop, you'll find a weird resistance fueled by BS campaigns, so people vote against their own interest. Good luck, fellas. I hope I am wrong.
At LilGlitch8956 wrote,
Hard disagree, every ad blocker blocks sponsored search results. An AI response can be turned off or for fucks sake. Learn your lesson, as it only defaults to AI if you phrased it terribly for a Google search. Sorry, but you gotta stop trying to search whole sentences, use a few short terms, and it will just Google it.
At Masterblood wrote,
Their Play Store is a big mess. 2 search results are bad, some malicious apps, and they can't even get their own. Categories right, they even display the wrong apps in wrong categories. The games are tagged right for the record.
At Rockets wrote,
I've had to add extensions to remove sponsor links and AI results. And if I can't, I have an extension to highlight results I don't want to click.
At Natasha26 wrote,
Have you used any of the other search engines? That Microsoft one is pretty special. It's as if I am training it to find the stuff that Google would put high up on page 1.
At Wilthadingo wrote,
I subscribe to the entertainment I want to watch. Paying for a subscription to web searching is a level of folly and nonsense that is frustrating to see.
At Willie Bingastilian wrote,
I found my name first, middle, and last, being searched on Google Trends out of DC every single week now since this Israel conflict started. I have memes on my phones and started wondering if they are working with companies like Palantir and Oracle to step on our necks.
At Oryx4658 wrote,
I installed DuckDuckGo on my Zima OS Frankenstein server. It ran perfectly fine. No complaints. And the best part, native themes. I can install Capuchin theme directly with one click. Jeff's guess.
At 619er23 wrote,
So my kids' lives are getting destroyed over a pic I didn't know existed and should have never existed on a mainstream website. Mods that don't do their jobs ruin families and hurt kids.
At Smoking Barrels 88 wrote,
Muta motivated me so much I purchased a Raspberry Pi 5. To run Pi-hole and SearXNG on my main PC, I'm going to use Pop. Oz NVIDIA Edition Muta woke me up like a sleeper agent man. Thank you.
At Xenon3120 wrote,
I don't care what they see, even if I have tons of Jeeb of corn in form of videos, GIF, and pictures. It's all legal age. What do I care what they try to find then? I more wonder about those that are too scared about somebody else spying on them. Not to mention most that hide something tends to be obsessed with the dark web. What you all hiding?
At AIDZ2ZD wrote,
Since you're making a beginner tutorial, I gently hint users to drop the Docker file into an LLM and have it explain what it does/do the sanity check. Better to learn to be self-sufficient and secure early on.
At Ricem Crispy wrote,
Is it really self-hosted if it relies on third-party search engines? I see the point this makes to remove AI and ads, or potentially make it better editing. But all you're hosting the packages to run a fake engine. It'd be awesome to have a project entirely self-hosted to actually scour the internet without the reliance on third-party search engines. Easier said than done, though.
At Miroslav Dunik 3295 wrote,
I remember times when Google was not yet established, almost 30 years ago. In those times, there was this neat desktop software called Copernic 2000, which did the same thing. It probed 55 different search engines and showed the most relevant results without ads. Man, it was fast and absolutely great. I love to see the modern approach to this old problem. Cool, cool, cool.
As Sylvia Wiley 9218 wrote,
I've met my fair share of people that don't know the difference between a dash and forward slash backslash, but are you calling a colon a dash and tilde a colon?
at Jason Bowman 6931 wrote,
Google search will tell you what you want to hear, not always the correct answer. I hate when you Google Kroger's, for instance, Kroger's will not come up first, but imitations will makes no sense.
Potbrain 16 wrote,
Google is what I use when I want a fast answer that's most likely a lie. Do I believe it? No, but I need a reference for stupidity.
at Denaniogurt 98 wrote,
I'm not going to lie, I actually do use Bing sometimes. If I can't get what I need out of Google, sometimes as a Hail Mary, Bing can dig up some weird shit.
at Honest Goat wrote,
It's called Google Search, but it's not a search engine. It's an advertising and thought control engine. If you want to search the net, use a King search engine.
at Halfmint 5519 wrote,
What if I started selling a service where I do the search for you? And whatever you tell me to search goes in one ear and out the other. But I also got dementia, so I instantly forget. And I promise I won't collect or sell your data, I'm too lazy. How about 1 penny per search?
at MJ Snake wrote,
I don't care much about AI stuff in searches, but the only thing I use Google Search for is to check game schedules for Premier League and other football leagues. My default browser is Brave, but Brave Search hasn't been up to the mark in showing football info. I use Brave for YouTube and other basic searches because the ad blocking on Brave is top tier.
at Zian Eternum wrote,
You could also just use a competitor that I have to call QuackQuackGo, because naming it in a YouTube comment, it gets the comment automatically deleted last time I tried.
at It's the Narwin 5044 wrote,
ENG onlay the whole aiding read it to the end of the search is so fucking gad tier bro. But even now I notice it's giving les circus now.
Carrywart wrote,
Start using Yandex, Bindi, Biku, the free search engines without censorship. Rest all this crap. Google, Yahoo, Bing, Duck, Brave won't show anything to Ipu under NSA surveillance.
at Jedmasi Plays 414 wrote,
I had Google message me today, verify your account with your driver's license, or make video of yourself with Google to verify, or Google will limit your views on YouTube, blackmailing me.
Scandal UK wrote,
Just searching for a quick regex always gets the AI to interfere, and it always gives me a bad pattern. Even if I test it with simple alphanumeric with hyphen, it gets it wrong.
at Levi Goober wrote,
BTW for the people who want to get into Linux. Linux Mint is just good for people coming from Windows. If there's anything you need to do on Linux, you can probably just look it up and copy plus paste the commands and usually be fine. Obviously be cautious of malicious command lines, though I don't think there's many sources like that nowadays.
at Richard Torruella's 2370 wrote,
Google has been useless for a long time. Brave made it slightly better, but not enough to keep using. Don't even get me started on Google Drive, which searches your drives.
at Arneciper 8332 wrote,
There is a reason I am using DuckDuckGo, I know, still Google, but filtered and an ad blocker uBlock origin for years. And I am perfectly fine with Tooglagent hat ad blocker off for sites that aren't 80% ads. But for Google, the ad blocker stays on.
At HelloFrankie99 wrote,
I have a serious question. Why should we continue to expect an internet search engine to be free? Specifically, regardless of which search engine you choose, Google or a paid subscription search engine, these are companies who need to make money to keep existing, right? I get that internet at its inception has conditioned users to be used to free services. But we are almost 30 years into it, and it takes a lot of money to provide an internet service at scale. Not defending how Google is monetizing its search, but I'm also not on board with internet search should be free.
At Adifuraj272 wrote,
I disagree. Gemini, if you pay for its services or even the free version for certain use cases, has been taking some really serious dubs recently. Compared to the complex R setups you want me to do just for getting trivial information, which in turn might not even give you the best results possible, mind you.
At STCatchMeTracjRo wrote,
Disagree with the stop using Google. Just change the way you use it. When the state becomes a surveillance state, and it will become one, not providing data to authority will be flagged. Just use the Google to search generic stuff that any average person will search. So you won't provide the surveillance state any key details about you, but also provide some details to not get flagged for not providing anything. You need to blend in with the average majority of people, not stand out by hiding. You stand out if you don't have the same internet activity as the majority. Lack of digital footprint in surveillance state will paint a target on your back. They know you exist based on birth certificate and owning a car. So why don't you exist online? Would a normal person in this day have no online presence? So yeah, don't go full erase my online presence. That will just make you in target.
At SparexisBlink2473 wrote,
Ugh, it's bad enough that Google trashed its own search engine to not bother fetching exact words anymore. My mythology research has grounded to a halt for this reason.
At Ninashideout wrote,
I literally can't find what I'm searching for anymore. I used to search and find specific, say, clothing items. Now I get the shit-iest recommendations that are so irrelevant to my search terms, so I am actually forced to use ChatGPT. I would be surprised if this was a tactic to get us to rely on ChatGPT and push subscriptions.
At Jarthan Greenmeadow wrote,
302. It's literally just omitting the longer string on the other side of the M dash. I bet if they stop using M dashes in titles, then it will stop getting parsed.
At Leathern Love wrote,
Sadly, Google F's up when I'm shopping too. I search for a legitimate product that I know they advertise, and the results are only tangentially related to my search. Google is trying harder every day to find a new way to suck. Given their levels of creativity, I can't begin to imagine how bad they will get before they start going through CEOs like socks and then fail.
At Ethical111 wrote,
I'm not going to stop using it just because you don't like it. Seems like a skill issue to me. MR Tech Support, you should go back to making deep web videos.
At Miking Kaleoa wrote,
all that just to not have to look at the 2 sponsored results. Shit, I thought they were narking me out and selling my data or something nefarious shit like that. I don't think I've noticed the first few results from Google in like 15 years. I've actually seen what I was looking for in the sponsored section, but still scroll down until I find it again in the regular results. The AI overview can be turned off so it doesn't pop up. I didn't like it at first, but I found it actually answers most of my weird questions.
At JustinCase6542 wrote,
I figured it out.
I never get ads. It's like the digital whoopity knows him broke af. And it will never be worth spending time or money to try.
At Joanna Lewis 5279 wrote,
The Verge point about titles being overwritten is not correct because it is normal and has been the case for a decade. Maybe their titles didn't change, but this was the case for most websites. This shifted a few years ago, so this is really of a date.
At _real_breel wrote,
If you are on Linux, you don't need virtualization enabled to use Docker. Docker just passes through the host kernel to the container. Virtualization is only needed to virtualize Linux if you are on another platform like Windows.
Checkboy 1999 wrote,
656, I think more people should try out Podman. It's really good Docker replacement and can be run rootless, so you don't have to add your user to Docker group.
At Chubgrub 221 wrote,
I got a pretty old iPad, and while it still does fine playing YouTube or using Discord, I can't Google anything on Safari anymore because the AI somehow bricks it every time.
At Bacus13 wrote,
I am torn between running SearXNG on my new local NAS and use Tailscale when I'm out of steam my local network or install SearXNG on every device I have. I think I will test both and see what's best. Thanks, Muda. 3.
At Cam_934 wrote,
I have used SearXNG, Forget, Google, and they had issues. Google has limited search requests, SearXNG, and Forget stopped providing any Google searches. I now just use Starpage and don't have to mess with Docker. I waited for over a month for the apps to get fixed, heaps of updates, but just remain broken.
A Starchild Magic wrote,
I rarely use Google search anymore, at least on my desktop. Usually I go to Wikipedia or Reddit or a site that specializes in what I'm looking for like IMDb. Google searches have way too much noise, and the AI summaries drive me crazy.
And Yraid wrote,
AI overviews can be useful for me most of the time. And uBlock has been removing the ad-first results for many years now. But I do feel like the results have been a lot more limited than they've been many years ago.
And I strongly dislike them injecting language translation parameters into Reddit links. And I often worry that regional/language settings for the search affect the results too much in general.
Still, I am still able to find what I want using Google most of the time, even if sometimes I need to go through a layer of Reddit or something else.
Kesmark wrote,
What do you mean nobody wants to use an inferior search engine? Everyone's been using Google all the time, and it hasn't been close to the best in 2 years if you're generous, 5 if you're realistic.
At Longrolstrel wrote,
Thank you for the video. I prefer to use Docker Compose up the first time to see the output and watch for errors and warnings and then press D to detach it.
At Devet Arms wrote,
I built a server to self-host a matrix and Stoat server with Rocky Linux with Docker, and this was literally 10 minutes to set up. I even set up an external link through my domain host for friends and family to access this from outside my network. Thanks, Mutaha. Let's undo the enshittification of the internet.
At Longrolstrel wrote,
Thank you for the video. I don't even know why people pay any attention to ads in the first place. When I want something, I'll use my local SearXNG instance to find it.
Scruffasax wrote,
No, I am not going to stop using Google. I am an adult with a job that requires me to use Google, Microsoft, and ChatGPT. I suggest people that actually do real work stop listening to this nonsense.
At Lindenfwarren wrote,
The unfortunate fact is all companies in the US that go public will enshittify their services. Shareholder priority is literally required by law in the US, so private companies and open source are all that can be depended on until the US starts trust busting again.
At Vasudevman2496 wrote,
Moved to DDG 2 years ago when I switched from Firefox to Chromium and Brave. Google app seems to track more on Android than on iOS. I don't remember searching for the term in the history, say Pixel updates, etc., which was searched in Brave, and it shows up on Pixel under Google search activity within 15 minutes. I changed the auto delete from 18 months to 3 months because my past activities were not auto deleted when using Pixel while things don't show up on iPhone. Very strange for the same account.
At Asadulova2479 wrote,
Even if it said a surveillance search by Google fanboys, I still have many uncensored results on Bing like it's Google 10 years ago. Only downside is the image search results still kinda ass compared to Google. I also tried to search on Brave, but it gives me mostly random result. I kept select search on Bing on things that required strict context. Even the said surveillance itself, Google search already did that way before they accused Bing like before 2020, where my ad and search result kinda match with what I talk when I'm not on phone. Or when I search outside Chrome, even on Firefox when I already set it to Bing, and DuckDuckGo before I switch to Bing.
TwitchClipio wrote,
I am using Brave browser has something called Brave Search. Yeah, oh no, cheesy AF. Doesn't have ads on search, but there is tab where you can add your crypto wallet and Brave pay you to see ads, which is weird cause I don't see any ads and they still paying me some bat.
At Bermolner wrote,
Yahoo's backend for a long time was Bing. When I was a Microsoft V, and we had to use search engine examples, we had to use Bing and Yahoo, even though 60% plus of traffic was definitely Google. Except in Japan, where Yahoo Japan used Google as a backend.
At Golict42 wrote,
Can't wait for the day for the internet, if you even want to call it that now, will collapse in on itself like some huge burning of Alexandria.
At Man in the Moon wrote,
I tend to use StartPage, which is a private search engine that pulls results from Google and Yandex without the same bias of Google results, but it's been going downhill. The most annoying thing is that I can search for the exact same thing on different devices and get different results, making it hard to find something I found before. Given the touted privacy features, it gives me some pause as to what identifiers are causing it to feed me different results.
At Number Format wrote,
Installing dgoog 705 to 912, process of creating a data folder, setting up a Docker Compose file, configuring permissions, and running the container. Installing SearXNG 1107 to 1235, pulling the Docker image, creating directories, and configuring the settings YAML file.
At As_Vita wrote,
$Glee na tilde for years trying to avoid it. I GT it bookmarked, but my default search is DuckDuckGo or Brave search, etc. I might be a tad bit extreme, but I removed as many Google apps and services as possible, some only possible via PC on my Android. I'm even thinking to remove the YouTube app and only use it via browser.